Hello guys, in this session we are going to discuss this topic, social stratification. Okay, so again a very important chapter here. So we will be trying to understand what is social stratification, and again one of the most couple of theories are there related to stratification. So we will be discussing the theories. Okay, mainly you have functional theory, and then conflict theory, Marxian theory, and then we have Weberian theory. Within functional theory, we will discuss couple of theories, and then again when it comes to conflict theory or Marxian theory, we'll try to see different perspectives again there, and then we will discuss a Weberian approach also. But before that, let me explain to you what are inequality and how inequality lead to stratification. You might have seen societies are structured like upper class, lower class, and then middle class, right? So there is a division, right? So kind of hierarchy is there. Or if you see the caste system, where you can see Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So these kind of hierarchies, how it is formed, and that's exactly what we are actually going to study. So if you see in societies, there are always differences, right? So when we talk about differences, mainly it is natural. It can be social also. Natural difference means male, female, sex. When you talk about, that's a natural difference. The skin color, which is again a natural difference related to race and other things, right? What do you mean by social difference? If you see the housing pattern, dressing pattern between North India, South India, the food pattern, these are basic difference. Okay, so there are differences. The differences can be natural or social. Now remember these words very carefully, because you need to make it very clear when you're writing the paper. So social stratification is what we are going to discuss, and I'm going to take it from basic differences. So when I simply say differences, it can be natural. So male, female, natural difference. Social difference, the food styles and the housing patterns, etc. These are social difference. Here, there is no superiority or inferiority, right? Male, female, when we normally talk about sex, there is no superiority or inferiority. North Indian housing pattern, South Indian housing pattern, these are differences. No superiority or inferiority or, preferability, rejection like that. But when you attach some values to these differences, now what do you mean by value? We discussed this when we discussed the topic of objectivity. Value means these are the certain evaluation criteria. On the basis of certain values only you define the superiority or inferiority, desirability, undesirability, preference or rejection, right? Like female child is not preferred, male child is preferred, female child is considered inferior, male child is considered superior. So when you say sex, male, female, this is not there. But you try to attach certain values like superior, like preferred, male child is preferred, male child is superior, right? Male child is desirable. These values will create inequality. So when you say sex, there is no inequality or anything, it's difference. When it comes to gender, and based on certain gender roles, you will be seeing that later, that is having some element of value involved, where you will see inequality. Okay, so how difference will lead to inequality, or how differences will become inequality or create inequality? When values are attached to these differences. So when values are attached to differences, that create inequality. Differences are natural or social. It may be natural or social, but inequalities are always socially created. Okay, so differences can be natural or social, but inequalities are always socially created. Why? Because the difference become inequality when some values are attached. Values like superiority, inferiority. I'm saying this is superior, that is inferior, right? Preferability, rejection, desirability, undesirability. So these are imposed by whom? Human beings. So it is created. Okay, so socially created. So differences lead to inequality when values are attached. Okay, so I can say differences are always, or differences may be natural or social, but inequalities are always social. Now, you cannot study each and every instances of inequality. So what we try to do as sociologists is, we'll try to identify certain patterns of inequality. So we'll try to understand the patterns. So some patterns, some dressing style, some lifestyle, some spending patterns, etc. Okay, so like that we will identify this particular category, upper class. Okay, and then again based on certain pattern we identify middle class, and then again based on certain pattern we identify lower class. So difference become inequality when values are attached, and inequality, since we cannot study each and every single instances of inequality, between you and me will be there, me and X, Y, Z, and everybody will be there. It's impossible. So we try to categorize. Okay, so inequality you will try to categorize in terms of certain patterns. So I'll be writing here patterns. That becomes stratification. Then you get the strata like formation. So this is, here you will see one pattern, here you will see a different pattern, here you will see a different pattern. So patterns of inequality is what stratification. That's it. Okay, now there are certain steps and the other thing, differentiation, rewarding, and all those things we need to discuss. But difference, it could be natural or social. Attach value to the difference, become inequality. So inequality is always socially created. When you identify patterns of inequality that you can see in a hierarchical manner, and when you're ranking it, that's when stratification. So not, there may be n number of instances of inequality. Not all inequalities become stratification. Inequalities where you see patterns, there you will get stratification. Which means I can say that not all instances of inequalities are stratification, but all stratifications are based on some kind of inequality, a kind of patterns of inequality. So when inequality understood or identified as patterns, that's when stratification. Middle class, certain pattern, lifestyle or income, etc. Lower class, some pattern. Upper class, they have some pattern. Okay, so within that also there are a number of differences, but you can see some common pattern. So difference, attach value, inequality, identify pattern, stratification. Now there are certain steps and processes that I'll be discussing. So I hope this is very clear. This is the most fundamental that you need to know. Okay, now the process of social stratification, there are 4 stages in which you try to identify this hierarchy or this pattern, and these are the 4 stages: differentiation, okay, and then ranking, and then evaluation and rewarding. So first step is that identify the differences. Okay, it could be natural or social. So recognition of social or natural differences in society. And ranking, what will happen is, informal comparison will start over a period of time. So I told you male, female, differences there. Comparison will start slowly. Who's doing more job or work, who's doing the toughest task, like that. So comparison will start. Okay, and creating a rank order, a vague rank order. This comparison will say that, yeah, male is superior, like that. Okay, create a rank order. And then what is the next step? Eventually, this rank order will become formalized and, accepted in society at the cultural level, or cultural evaluation will happen over a period of time. Whatever is seen here in a vague rank order will become formalized and institutionalized over a period of time. It is understood as the value of society. So every member in the society tend to accept that and will transfer or transmit from one generation to the other through cultural reproduction. Okay, so that's the third step actually. There will be kind of evaluation, cultural evaluation, or evaluation done at the cultural level. Here comparison done at the individual level. Informal rank order will be formed. Here it becomes cultural evaluation, a formal rank order will come into existence. Okay, and then this become institutionalized also. It will be passed from one generation to the other. So that's what the stage. And then based on this, there will be certain privileges given. Okay, that's what I mean by rewarding here. Attachment of privileges and disabilities. Like Brahmins get this, Shudras and Vaishyas or Dalits get that. Okay, rewards and punishments, privileges, like that. So that will help in continuation of this rank order. That will help in perpetuating or continuing this system. So difference, first, and then comes evaluation or ranking, and then come evaluation at the cultural level. So this is at the individual level, informal. Here it become more formal and institutionalized. It will again now pass from one generation to the other. Final stage is rewarding. This will help in continuation of that. Okay. So these are the 4 steps that you need to write. Now one is the other topic is actually the dimensions of social stratification. What are the main dimension? The first is economic dimension. So here is where upper class, middle class, lower class. What is the criteria here? Income, wealth, education. Education also you can add. Okay. In social dimension also education you can add. Education, occupation, social status, etc. Cultural dimension, ethnicity, religion, cultural practices. Biological dimension, age, gender, race, etc. Okay, so these are something which are considered as closed type of stratification. I'll come to open and closed. So open means there is a possibility of mobility. So mobility is something which I need to discuss in the next session. So mobility means either you can move up or can come down in the strata. You may be lower class, you can go to upper class with hard work and efforts. You may be upper class, but because of your laziness and other things, you can come down also. So that means movement is possible between strata. But there are cases where movement is not possible. That's what? Closed. For example, caste system. You born as a Brahmin, you end as a Brahmin. You born as a Shudra, you end as a Shudra. Okay, so that's what we will be seeing in the next slide. Open and closed system. Open system allows greater mobility, which is income based system. Education based system, which is open. You get education, you can move. Income, you can move. Okay, closed system like caste system, it is closed, no mobility. Mobility means movement. Okay, but reality, most system falls somewhere between open and closed. No system is theoretically completely open. Even though you are saying that you get income, you can go to upper class, but there are a lot of hindrances. You cannot get it just like that. Similarly, though sometimes you say caste system is closed, but there are instances, we will be seeing that in paper 2 like Sanskritization, etc. You will be able to change your caste also, practically. So 100% there is nothing which is closed, even gender also you can change. So 100% you cannot say it is closed. 100% it is not open also. Income system is not 100% open. If so, everybody can become rich, right? There are other criteria and conditions also there. So practically, so this is theoretically. Open means movement is possible, closed means no movement possible, but practically there are a lot of hindrances when it comes to both, and there is nothing which is 100% open or closed, it will stand in between. Now what are the different types system? Age-based system. Guys, these are things which I have explained in detail in the course, complete course, that you need to take that for that. So here you will see different ages, higher age, middle age, lower age, right? So let's say I can divide up to, let's say up to 20, one category, 20 to 40, and then 40 to 60. Like that I can divide any division. Now is it open or closed? Basically it is understood as closed system, age system. But if you see, you are 19, then you belong to this. When you cross 20, you come to this. Can you consider that as mobility? Similarly, when you are 39, you are here. When you become 41, you will be here, which means movement is possible. But is this possible? Reverse movement is possible? No. So when we say movement, it should be both direction. So this one is actually closed system. Okay, theoretically closed, practically also it is actually closed. So different age. And again, slave system here, masters and slaves. Okay, property owner, masters, slaves, those who work in that. Okay, so those who provide the labor and other things. Estate system, we have different nobility, that the landlords, clergy, and then serfs. Okay, and then class system we discussed already, upper class, middle class, lower class. Who are the middle class? Like professionals, managers, small business owners. Upper class, wealthy business people, influential, etc. Okay, lower class, the working class and manual, unskilled jobs. Caste system, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and then Dalits at the bottom. Okay, Racial stratification. So here it is again based on biological criteria rooted in colonialism and slavery. Here we can discuss, we have already discussed this. Social impact, modern challenges, all these we have covered. So here there is nothing much to discuss apart from whatever we have discussed in detail. So ethnic stratification again, okay, ethnicity, which is again a culture which is formed over a period of time. It's distinct language, tradition, religion. Gender stratification and the issues, political representation, social norms, economic inequality. Guys, all these I have discussed already, that's why I'm skipping this. Now, after discussing that, briefly you need to mention about, even if the theories are not asked, 1 or 2 lines about this, 1 or 2 lines about this as a criticism, and this also. Okay, so class, status, power, you will be discussing here. So once we complete that, then you will have a clear idea. So then only the answer is going to be complete. So what we have discussed, what you need to understand here in simple terms, I just want to convey here this only. There are differences. It could be natural or social. You attach values to this difference, then it become inequality, which is only social. So differences become inequality when values are attached. Differences may be natural or social. Inequality is always social. When you identify patterns of inequality, that's what? Social stratification. So I hope now this, if this is very clear, then everything is going to be very simple. So you can talk about the 4 different steps: differentiation, ranking, evaluation, and then rewarding, etc. So first you will identify the differences, and then informal comparison will start at the individual level. That gives a vague rank order based on some kind of superiority and inferiority. Then evaluation start at the cultural level, at the societal level. Then it become formalized and institutionalized, and it become part of the value system of the society. And then it will be passed on to the next generation also. And what rewarding was the privileges, etc., that they get, privileges or disprivileges or the punishments, which will actually help in the continuation of that. Okay, so that's about this small discussion. I think this is the most important part, and I hope all of you understood what is stratification. So can I say all instances of inequality is stratification? No. You need to have patterns. Between you and me also, there can be multiple inequalities. Okay, so multidimensional inequalities between you and me, or you and other person, me and other person, like that. Okay, but we need to get the pattern. That's why when I say upper class, there is a common pattern among them. Middle class, there is a pattern among them. Okay, lower class, there is a pattern. So can I say all stratification is based on some kind of inequality? Yes. But not all inequality are stratification. Okay, so if let's say this is inequality, this is stratification. So all stratification is based on inequality. Not all inequality becomes stratification. What you need? You need pattern. Within inequalities, if you can identify pattern, that becomes stratification. So that's it, guys. I hope you understood. It's a very simple discussion. In case if you are looking for sociology one-to-one mentorship or test series or the course, I give you the link in the description. You can consider subscribing that. Notes, complete written notes you can get free of cost. Link in the description, guys. See you in the next session. Thank you so much.